Cool. Well, this could definitely be a liability if this thing breaks in half or goes to a bajillion pieces in the middle of a hospital.
It won't. We're not going to get into something that's janky. It'll be very secure. We're not amateurs.
Speak for yourself.
So I got a call from JT, and he, we throw ideas at each other the entire time I was in school. I'm in contact with him at least a couple times a month, at least once a week probably. And I got a call from him and asking me to think about making the shape of a lung, and didn't really allude to anything other than that. And I was like, sure, I'll play around with the idea. And first off, we started making them pretty small, probably maybe 12 inches, nothing too crazy, just a foot, which is 2 gathers. And we tried different approaches, and it took a while to kind of figure out how to get that somewhat of a pointy shape. And it was exciting because it led me to a few other side projects for my own stuff. So it was pretty cool to have that inspiration come kind of out of thin air, out of nowhere. And then they evolved in going to the 3rd gather, and they went to the 4th gather, and then the 5th gather. And in glass, each gather is a lot more weight to throw around, and it makes it such very more technical and just harder to do. And so from there we've started playing with colors. We've used reds and oranges and blues. And it's been really fun to continue to go bigger and bigger and bigger to work up to where we would like to be. And I think that we're getting closer to being there. We will be there soon. 2 gathers more, I think. 7 gathers would be where I'd like to go, which would be really exciting. So, and I guess that the lung now has turned in. It went from just a glass lung, which was kind of like an object, and then now it's become a sculpture, as in with the metal ribs and the rib cages around it and stuff. Because I think originally what our first thought was just to have 2 glass lungs, which would be cool as by themselves. But now it's involved where we've the collective has come together, and it's us putting my glass with his metal, which is so important and so fun for both of us because it's what we've talked about for years. And now that we get to do it, it's just amazing. And so it's pretty exciting to have turned like 2 objects into hopefully a very large sculpture that someone would would enjoy, that people could see and they would like it, and then hopefully that it would promote in some way. We're trying to figure out how to promote the cystic fibrosis into it, and but in itself he's promoting it just by doing the metal and doing the glass with me is promoting it. Just he's a testament to how far that's come and where that in the positive way that's going for CF patients. One of the biggest draws for me to glass is almost like the instant gratification. So you can work like a ceramic artist or a metal artist or a painter. A painter will work on a paint for hours, or not for hours, but for months, like even a year possibly. Glass is very on point. Like it's a very emotional thing because you're pouring all of what you have into that piece at that current moment, because that's the time you have to work on it in the hot shop. And so these lungs are pretty much strictly right now, unless we change this, which is completely possible, but they are a hot shop. It's just, we make them in the hot shop. And so you have per piece, you can take a couple hours to make pieces. These we're trying to get in an hour, hour and a half, somewhere in that vicinity, hopefully no longer than that. And then, then the piece is done. And so, Jeremy with the lungs, it could take him a month, a week to make these lungs. Or, I'm sorry, not to make lungs, but to make the ribs. And for the lungs, you basically make them in a couple hours, and that sounds like, oh, that's really quick and whatever, but it's intense. It's very fast paced. It's very extremely hot in the hot shop. And my job as the gaffer of making these pieces is to tell everyone else what to do and to make sure that everything is going well. So I'm managing the piece while I'm making it the entire time, and I'm just extremely drawn to being able to shape this molten. It's glass is defined as a supercooled liquid. So I'm just to shape this liquid with your hand, or with your hands when you have paper in them, whether they have a block in it, whether you're using quart paddles or a paddle or parchofis or jacks or anything. I just love the fact that I have something in my hand that's 2,000 degrees that like when it touches you, it's insta burn, insta blister, not good, but extremely exciting and very. It's instant gratification. You get it immediately when you put it in the annealer. As long as your annealing cycle is set and everything goes right and there's a power outage, you hide your piece in the next day or two, depending on how long your cycle is. And I think that's pretty phenomenal to be able to have that piece pretty much instantly.